So, hello, good morning, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us here as the DFB Youth League at under-19 level gets underway. Match day one here in the preliminary round, and we bring you the matchup between Schalke and Borussia M'Gladbach. Two teams not too far away from each other, as is always the case here in the preliminary round, with teams split into leagues on a regional basis, looking to qualify for the main round and then the final round in hunt for the Bundesliga title. First day of the season, two teams that made it through to the latter stages of the competition. Last campaign, Borussia Mönchengladbach crashing out in the last 16 phase in that memorable penalty shootout against Werder Bremen. Schalke getting one round further out in the quarter-finals, also losing on penalties, but against Bayer Leverkusen. Both teams find themselves in Group I this time around. As we take a look at the Borussia Mönchengladbach starting 11 here. Oliver Kirch, former player, now in charge of the under-19s, fielding a strong 11 here for the first day of the season. Marcelo Trippel in goal, and then the likes of Valifard, Göfak, Krasniki, Versdorfer, Muradian, Kukamaki, Bellassen, Uakonye, Schiffer, and main man up front, Nico Horvaths. The Schalke 11 as well. Equally strong side put out by Schalke legend Norbert Elgert. Very, very experienced manager, especially at youth level. Was assistant manager to the senior team a while back, but has always wanted to be part of the youth setup at Schalke. Is very passionate about the development of young players. Has had opportunities to go elsewhere and manage at senior levels, not just at Schalke, but around Germany, but has stuck to his guns and has really cemented his place at the club in terms of bringing young players through and helping them become seasoned professionals in the not so distant future. The players making their way out onto the pitch now, led by referee Jens Grage and his assistants Kilian Baums and Lukas Reindorf, here in Gelsenkirchen at the Parkstadion, home of Schalke. All in blue as expected. Kick-off just moments away now. It was quite the competition, quite the final last season, of course. The team that knocked Schalke out, Bayer Leverkusen, making it all the way through to the final. Werder Bremen, who knocked Gladbach out in the last 16, through to the semi-finals, so nearly finalists as well. So both of these teams here today knocked out by teams that could have easily gone on to win it, which just goes to show that both these sides could have been last year and definitely will be this year contenders to go all the way again. Very rich histories at under-19 level, as well as on the senior stage, as we all know. Borussia Mönchengladbach probably faring a little better in recent years. Schalke still trying to get themselves back into the Bundesliga at senior level. But a club of that size should probably be battling it out with the big boys at the top. Last year's final between Cologne and Leverkusen, a memorable one. 4-2 at half-time in favour of Cologne. Leverkusen coming back, pushing it into extra time. Cologne coming out 5-4 winners in the end. There's a late goal. Some final words amongst the young Schalke side before kick-off here. Captain Luka Vozar firing his team up. Borussia M'Gladbach standing ready to get going. Just take you through the starting 11 for Schalke one more time. Nick Borden in goal. And the rest made up of Mikatom Valentovic, Diego Baquez, Amar Ibrahimovic, Claudio Katunda, Zgoriki, Pfeiffer, Weber, Tubic, Captain Luka Vozar, and Bilal Dardadi up front as well. Gladbach playing from left to right here in the first 45 as the action gets underway. Pitch looks to be in fine condition. Should make for an interesting encounter, as it always is between these two. Plenty of rivalry between these two sides. Last meeting between these two back in April of last year in the Bundesliga West main round. It was a 5-goal thriller. Borussia Mönchengladbach coming out 3-2 winners on the day. And that was here in Gelsenkirchen as well, so something they'll be looking to replicate. Meeting before that, of course, ending in a 1-1 draw. Schalke down to 10 men in that game, managed to salvage a point in the end. Their last win against Borussia Mönchengladbach back in 2023. A 4-3 victory as well. So it is a game that, more often than not, does produce plenty of goals and has plenty of talking points. No reason this morning should be any different. Gladbach coming forward here is Verserdorfer. Given away, but one straight back inside the Schalke half. Belarsen looking for options. One back in a promising area. Counter-attack is on here for Schalke. Sadly, Malik Tubic just drifting into an offside position there. Unnecessarily as well. Wasn't being marked, no one tracking his run. Could have easily been a little more cautious. Nick Borden spreads it out wide. Well, this way, this time coming back from an offside position. Malik Tubic. Schalke number 9. Malik Tubic with an incredible return during his time at under 17 level. 15 goals in 21 appearances. Cracking season for him. Now with the under 19s, looking to replicate that sort of form. Does have 6 goals under his belt at under 19 level. But looking to make this his breakout season with the under 19s. Considered a real go-to player for Norbert Elgert. experienced manager for the Blues. Long ball forward. Diego Bacchus unable to really pluck it out of the air before being challenged straight away. It's a nice long ball forward from Katunda to pick him out. Great precision on that diagonal. That's with almost 5 minutes gone. Both teams just feeling each other out still. Very much a chess game in these opening stages. Bit of space to work with now for Borussia Mönchengladbach as they power forward into the final third here. Down the left wing. Nice little cut inside. No options available, so we'll slow things down once again. Lovely through ball here. Chance here for Gladbach to open up the scoring, and they do just that. Lovely link-up play. Worked into the middle beautifully there. And Nico Horvath, who we mentioned just before kickoff, with one of his first touches on the ball, really. What an important one. Didn't need pace or power. Was all about precision there. Just steadied himself nicely. Little drop with the shoulder to lose the defender. Then cuts it back inside. And places it into the back of the net past Nick Bodon to give Borussia Mönchengladbach an early lead with their first real attack on goal. So a wake-up call early into match day 1 for Schalke. And just catches Nick Bodon in goal, wrong-footed there. He's making his way back across to sort of recenter himself. Schalke looking for a swift reply here. Ball across the middle, little too close to Marcelo Trippel in goal. Gladbach playing their way out of trouble from the back, and once again a lot of space to work with in the middle of the pitch there for the visitors. Schalke just giving the ball away a little too cheaply once or twice already. No nonsense clearance from Bodon. A switch of play works out, but catches everyone off guard, including Bilal Dardadi there. He was just making a move towards the ball, thinking it would belong to Borussia Mönchengladbach. And then couldn't readjust in time to keep it in play. Ibrahimovic back to Nick Bodon. Well, we did say it is a game that more often than not produces goals, and already an early breakthrough for the visitors, Borussia Mönchengladbach here. Good upper body strength shown there by Luka Vozar. No one making the run into the space, just in behind the back line. Was a little rushed there by Vozar, to be fair. Probably had a bit more time and space to work with than he initially thought. Valentovic just losing control of the ball, and then his feet as well. Unable to stay on them there for a moment, having picked the ball off nicely. Nice scramble for possession. Gladbach come away with it. Little dink over the top. There is Malik Tubic. Trying to create the space for the shot. Muscled out wide. Tadari puts in the delivery. Straight into the hands of Triple in between the sticks. Well, you get the feeling Schalke haven't quite found their rhythm just yet. Borussia Mönchengladbach, besides scoring the opening goal, just looking a little more comfortable on the ball, a little more confident on the ball. Link-up play has been a little more crisp. Larsen just catching the player. Omar Ibrahimovic, the player down for Schalke. The referee just having a word with young Yusuf Belarsen. Could see what he was trying to do, but quite clearly catching the player rather than the ball. Oliver Kirch watching on. Took over Borussia Mönchengladbach's under-19s back in July of 2023. Schalke want a penalty. They're not going to get one. Dardari, the player down. Certainly looked like it was shoulder to shoulder more than anything else. Although it does come through the back of him a little. Elias Walifard, the Gladbach captain, taking somewhat of a risk there. A risk that pays off in the end. Oliver Kirch, still considered a relatively young manager, does have plenty of experience at under-19 level though, having managed Hamburg's under-19s as well as Bielefeld's under-19s before taking on the role at Borussia Mönchengladbach, as they see another chance go begging. Free header for Lenversdorfer. Just couldn't keep it down, had to sort of get low to try and attack it. Which does always make it a little bit more difficult, especially when you are one of the taller young men out on the pitch. You have to get down a little further. Rosendorfer with the ball inside. Borussia Mönchengladbach keeping the pressure on here in these opening stages, looking for a second. Horvath running into trouble there. Could have perhaps released the ball a little earlier. Another misplaced pass from Schalke from inside their own half. Well, no, Gladbach have certainly been the better side in terms of tempo, energy and efficiency. Schalke haven't helped themselves with some of their sloppy play at the back so far. Long ball over the top, Flagger stayed down, Schalke in on goal. In with a chance for an equaliser. Just rushed a little by Luka Vozar. Tried to toe poke it, looking for the far corner from a fair distance out. If you're going to toe poke it, you usually want to be a little closer to goal than that, because it is so difficult to generate a lot of power with that sort of a finish. Nothing wrong with taking the shot early to try and catch the keeper a little off guard, but having only just arrived inside the box, you'd prefer him to probably put his laces through it. Try and force the save from the keeper. Good tackle there from Dardadi. Ball stays with Gladbach though. Onto the edge of the penalty area, looking for an opening. Shot blocked. Clearance doesn't get too far. Deflection helping Schalke there. The ball lands in the hands of Nick Bordon in goal. Quick to release it. Valentovic continuing his run down the right, looking for options in the middle. Didn't see too many, tried to delay it. And then the two in the box, putting the brakes on their runs forward. So Schalke players not quite all on the same page just yet. Quarter of an hour gone. It's very much been Gladbach's game so far. Nice little glance header on. Danger just about dealt with. And Dardai does enough to win the throw. I think Norbert Elgert will expect a little more from his players on the opening day of the season. Of course, with it being match day one, not the be-all or end-all today's result, but if given the choice, you would always want your team to get off to a strong start, lay those foundations down for the rest of the season. Certainly gives you and your team less to think about for training on Monday. Schalke not quite firing on all cylinders just yet. Still early days though. Just 17 minutes gone. Dardadi. This time does have options in the middle. Can't find an opening to put a delivery in though. Now perhaps the chance for the equaliser. And Schalke right back in it. Questionable defending at the back there from Borussia M'Gladbach. But take nothing away from the Blues. Valentovic eventually does get the ball into the middle. And Malik Tubic, Schalke's number 9, with an easy tap in. Just slots it into the far corner. Really well taken goal off the inside of the boots. Just finds that little pocket of space in between. And absolutely nothing Marcelo Triple can do about it. Well, somewhat against the run of play, but a fist pump in the air there from Norbert Elgert. Could that be the catalyst and the kickstart in this game for the Blues? They've struggled to be at their best, but they found the back of the net anyway. Game on again. Oliver Kirch will not be happy with the way his side conceded there, having started this game so well, looking so organised. Schalke have really struggled to carve any sort of an opening, and then out of the blue they make it look very simple, too simple, I think Oliver Kirch would argue. Schalke awarded the free kick there. Elias Valifard quite clearly holding on to Luka Vorza. Aware that the Schalke number 10 probably will beat him for pace. Not going to let that happen. And those free kicks you don't mind conceding from a Gladbach perspective. Whipped in early, headed away for a Schalke throw. Diego Bacchus looking for options here. And Schalke will settle for a corner. All of a sudden, the home side on the front foot. How the tables have turned and how quickly they've turned as well. Good height and distance on the delivery. Not a bad strike whatsoever there from Tim Pfeiffer. On the half volley from long range. Gets really good contact. Just slightly off the outside of the boot, so was always travelling away from goal, but didn't look like he missed by much. Certainly had Marcelo Triple scrambling across. Heavy touch there, inviting the challenge. Schalke do still come away with the throw. Diego Bacchus just venturing a little too far forward. Incident off the ball here. Weber and Horvath coming together. A lot of nothing in the end. Ball out wide. Schalke. Good cross towards the back post. And Diego Bacchus unable to get on the end of it. Just a little too much height on it from Valentovic. And continues to put dangerous balls into the box now. These final few minutes, or past few minutes should I say. Diego Bacchus just sticking an arm out there. Not into it with the interception and space to work with. Another ball into the middle, and it's a carbon copy of the first Schalke goal. And again, Valentovic with the ball into the danger zone. Again, it's low. And again, it finds number 9, Malik Tubic, who again side-foots it past triple to give Schalke a 2-1 lead and turn the game on its head. Well, pretty much exactly the same as the first goal. Once again, Gladbach unable to come up with an answer for a relatively simple attack from the home team. Oliver Kirch was disappointed before. He'll be upset now. Because for a second time, Malik Tubic just able to drift right into the middle there. Unchallenged. You simply cannot give Schalke's number 9 that much time and space inside the box, or you will be punished. And Gladbach have been punished not once but twice now, having worked ever so hard to take an early lead. That's all gone down the drain, and it's gone down very quickly indeed. Two goals in 6 minutes. And all of a sudden, the landscape looking very, very different for the visitors. Past the midway point of this first half already. As far as the neutrals are concerned, entertaining first 45 so far. Really can see the shift in body language from the Schalke players now, though. Confidence running through their veins all of a sudden after what was a bit of a nervy start. Well defended by Bacchus. Follows it up with a no-nonsense clearance. Good looking cross. And Meki to doing his best to try and get on the end of it, inches away from making contact with that delivery into the box from out wide. Does well to get in front of his defender, but then just slightly misjudging the flight of the ball there. Better from Gladbach though. Since conceding the equaliser, have just lost their way a little bit. Incident off the ball there, foul on Bellason. Lovely ball to spread it out wide and switch play out onto the left. Ball inside to Kukameki. Just couldn't control it once it landed at his feet. To say Uwakonye has probably been Gladbach's best player so far. Has been very effective on that left wing. A lot of the danger created has come from that side. Early ball over the top. Bacchus will get there. Tries to get it back into the middle. Plays it a little too close to Marcelo Triple in goal, who's quick to send the ball upfield. Difficult one there for Kukameki, surrounded by Schalke defenders. Nice close control there. Len Versdorfer not getting the decision he thought he should have. Certainly looked like he was brought down unfairly. Valentovic just putting the brakes on his run down that right wing. I think he thought he'd already drifted into an offside position, therefore not committing. Nico Horvat out wide to Uwakonye. Again, tries to get a ball into the middle. Not quite enough distance this time. He has caused Schalke problems out on that left wing. Nothing ball across the middle there. As Bellason will go and retrieve it from the corner. Uwakonye just setting off a little too early there. Well, 10 minutes still to go at the end of this first half. It's certainly been back and forth, to say the least, the scoreline and how it's unfolded. It certainly suggests that. Gladbach clearly off to the better start, taking an early lead. Schalke against the run of play then, managing to come up with an equaliser. And then taking control of the game shortly thereafter, rewarded with a second goal for their efforts. Since then it's been a little bit more even again. Dardari unable to hold on to the ball there, just inside the penalty area. Gladbach looking to break free in the other direction. Well defended by Valentovic. Now Dardari sends the ball through. Offside though, flag goes up against Malik Tubic. Not for the first time. Just a little too eager to get forward. He's got plenty of pace, could easily take his time there. Or at least just delay it slightly. Schalke awarded the free kick. Shove in the back of Luka Voza. The Blues captain trying to control the ball, then bulldozed it to the ground by Borussia Mönchengladbach's captain, Valifard. So a free kick in a promising position this. Looks like Diego Bacchus lining this one up. Looks like he's going to try and swing one in for a teammate rather than go for goal himself. Delivery in towards the back post. And the header. Just a little too much height on it there from Amar Ibrahimovic. Good delivery, good leap as well. Slightly in behind. And just couldn't keep it down. Do seem to have lost some of the audio. Wonder if the pitch side mic might have been knocked over by the wind. Saw or heard a real gust of it not too long ago. Does at times sound a bit like a bottle cap in a dishwasher. Hopefully will be fixed at some point. Oh, lovely through ball. Definitely not offside this time. Bacchus is free in the middle. If he can find him, and there is your answer. Well, Tubic with 2 goals. The brace scorer, this time turning a provider. Almost looked like there wasn't quite enough weight on that ball into the middle for Diego Bacchus, but gets just enough on it. Thought for a moment Tubic had taken a little too long. And Diego Baquez makes it 3-1 just before half-time here. Schalke go from strength to strength after a slow start. Now find themselves well and truly in the driving seat here on match day 1. And they come again. Got into it time and time again, able to put dangerous balls across the face of goal. This time Luka Vorza nearly on the end of it. Full stretch, not too far away from making contact with the ball there. Sounds like the audio might be back, which is good news. Under pressure straight away. Oh, that's a soft call. There against Dardari. He to me looked like he'd done everything right there. Really good high press from Schalke. Putting pressure on the ball carrier straight away. And all of a sudden, Borussia M'Gladbach looked so solid at the back in the opening 5-10 minutes. Now looking a little nervy every time Schalke come forward, or even when they find themselves on the ball deep inside their own half. Dardari giving away the free kick with a late challenge there on Engel Krasniki. Nice little 1-2. Larsen will take the throw here. Not a bad idea. Well intercepted in the end with a lunging tackle from Tim Pfeiffer to put the ball out of play for a corner. So some defending to do before the half-time whistle here for Schalke. A lot of bodies at the near post, getting the job done initially. Danger not quite over yet, though. A bit of a wild effort back across the face of goal there from Kukameki. Dardari does well. Good tenacity off the ball from the Schalke winger. And the Blues come forward down the right once again and again. Could have easily been another goal. Luka Vorzak doing everything right. Great run into the middle. Time and time again, that space in behind. Wide open. Borussia M'Gladbach needed to do something to deal with that, because Schalke will just keep trying and inevitably just keep adding to their tally unless Gladbach come up with an answer. It is Schalke who will take a 2-goal cushion and a comfortable 3-1 lead into the changing rooms, turning things around extremely well. Slight scare at the start. Gladbach with the early goal, then the equaliser. And since then, Schalke have looked like the team who are in control and heading towards victory here on match day 1. First 45 in the bag. Second half just around the corner. Make sure you join us for it in just a few. So a warm welcome back for the second 45 here. Players just about ready to get going again. Very interesting first half here in this match day one of the preliminary round in the under-19 DFB Youth League. A strong start from Borussia M'Gladbach, scoring inside the opening 5 minutes. Looked like it might just be their morning here in Gelsenkirchen, but then the reaction from Schalke, a very impressive one indeed. The tables turning very quickly and quite extremely as well. The equaliser against the run of play, but then two very, very good goals from Schalke would follow. That man, Valentovits, causing all sorts of problems down the right wing. Borussia Mönchengladbach struggling to deal with his powerful runs and crosses into the box, and paying the price dearly. Trail by 2, 3-1 at the half-time score in favour of the home side. And the big reaction needed from Borussia Mönchengladbach to try and get themselves back into this. We'll need a similar strong start right from the get-go. But then we'll have to try and keep things going. Looks like Sulo Ketula, the number 9, has come on to try and make that difference and turn things around here in the second 45. So action underway. Gladbach playing from right to left here in the second period of play. No changes, it would seem, for Schalke. Free kick taken quickly as Gladbach try to catch the Schalke defence off guard. Hasn't quite worked out though. Now the counter is on. And plenty of bodies behind the ball for the visitors. Down the line for captain Luka Vozar. Gets another ball into the middle. Again, it's dangerous. Now, ball whipped in behind the back line. Already causing problems again. Malik Tubic unable to get into that space quickly enough, but the danger was there. Pressure on the ball there from the new man up front. Bakkers does well under pressure as well. Ball still in play. You could see what Luka Vozar was trying to do. Saw Valentovits in space just outside the box there. Important block, otherwise he would have had plenty of space to work with. Bakkers with the long throw here. Headed on well. Not once but twice. 4-1. And now Luka Vozar does have his goal. Had chances towards the end of the first half. Made no mistakes on the volley there. And again, just finds himself in acres of space inside the box. It really is amazing how much time and space is being given to the Schalke forwards in exactly that area, time and time again. And what a start to the second half for Schalke. Disastrous start for Borussia Mönchengladbach, but the same problems continuing. And absolutely nothing Triple can do about that once again. Well, tough task, just got a whole lot tougher for the visitors. Exactly what Oliver Kirch would have wanted his players to try and avoid. Conceding an early goal And Schalke through again here, could make it 5, just wide from Dardari. Really should be hitting the target there. It's just all too simple for the Blues at the moment. Gladbach's back line at 6s and 7s. Dardari drags his effort wide. That could have easily been 5-1. Borussia Mönchengladbach desperately need to find a way to just settle the ship here, because they've already got a mountain to climb as it is. Cannot afford for things to get any worse now. One game already played on match day 1 here in Group I of the preliminary round. Preußen Münster, first team to get points on the board with a 2-1 victory over Osnabrück. As things stand, Schalke will be joining them in that day 1 winner category towards the top of the table. Gladbach, Münster, Osnabrück and Schalke in a group with Paderborn, Rot-Weiß Oberhausen, Meppen and Bielefeld. Current scoreline, however, will see Schalke go top of the group, for now anyway, on goal difference. Bacchus with the long throw again. Gladbach unable to clear their lines convincingly. Back over the top. Far too much height and distance on that though. From Katunda. Oh, sidestep inside. Work rate off the ball has vastly improved from Schalke as well since conceding the first goal of the game. Norbert Elgertz clearly not happy with the way the Blues kick things off, but will be absolutely delighted with how they've recovered. Not only recovered, but excelled. Looks like Oliver Kirch ready to make another change as Kukameki makes way. There's Gunnar coming on to replace him. Fresh legs, hopefully, fresh ideas as well. Hopeful ball over the top, but again far too much weight behind it. Asking a lot of the new number 9, Suno Ketela. Does bring a lot of height to the Borussia Mönchengladbach attack, but not necessarily more pace. The referee just having a word with Mathieu Ngufak. Buckers dinks one over the top and out wide. Good idea. Looking to bring Mika Valentovic into play again. He's been very influential with his contributions from wide areas. Again, good aggressive play there from Buckers. Dardari picks his opponent's pocket, if only for a moment. Muradayan goes looking for a penalty. Referee not impressed. Waves play on. Gladbach still in possession though. Muradian goes down, this time does get the free kick. Gunnar, the substitute, coming across to take it. Muradian thought about playing it short. Didn't see too many options available though. In comes the delivery, not a bad cross. Schalke struggling to get the ball clear. Chance here for Gladbach. Shot blocked though, and the rebound blocked as well. Schalke doing a good job of crowding the penalty area here. And eventually do get the ball clear. Decent spell of possession this for the visitors. We'll have to build from the back again though. Spike out wide. Ukawonye was probably one of the few shining lights in the first half for Borussia Mönchengladbach. The left-sided winger takes the corner short. Spike puts it into the middle. Not the most convincing clearance there from Katunda, but helped out by his teammate. Dardari brought down, wins the free kick to relieve some of the pressure. A little too eager there, Claudio Betoni Katunda. As captain Luka Vorza not quite ready for that early ball over the top. Schalke hand possession back to Gladbach. Slight dip in performance at the moment from Schalke, but at 4-1 up, you would expect them to just take their foot off the pedal slightly. And they have one back. Borussia Mönchengladbach with a lifeline. Just what the doctor ordered for Oliver Kirch's side. It's a well-taken goal as well. Really, really nice strike off the inside of the post from Matja Ngufak. Nick Bodon, full stretch, can do nothing about it. All of a sudden, things getting a little bit more interesting again. Dardari, a little slow to get going there. Here is the goal scorer, Ngufak. Sends it down the line for Uwakonye. Lovely first touch, Uwakonye, with a chance to make it very interesting indeed here, but can't release the ball in time. Did everything right, apart from the final moment there. It really is incredible. Often the momentum seems to be shifting back and forth in this game. All of a sudden, Gladbach playing with belief again. Giving themselves something to work with. Albeit the task at hand, still a tough one. Schalke still very much in the driving seat here, but playing a dangerous game at the moment. Another goal for Gladbach and relatively wide open again. Valifard unable to wrap his boot around that one. Puts it out for a goal kick. And Schalke with a chance to catch their breath again. Beautifully hit by Ngufak. Just under half an hour still to go, so Gladbach certainly do have time to get themselves back into this. Enjoying a lot of possession at the moment. Schalke struggling to get on the ball. Oh, that's a soft call against Bacchus, who's not happy with it. And will pick up a yellow card. Slamming the ball into the ground in frustration. It looked like a clean tackle to me. To make things worse, Schalke would have been heading forward. Outnumbering the Gladbach defence as well. Wasn't meant to be though. Knocking the ball around nicely, the visitors. Good interception there by Dardari. Ball forward, off target though. Shame really, because Luka Vozar again left in acres of space there. Always seems to drift into those pockets in between the central defenders. have been more than happy to give that space to him, much to their own demise at times and certain points in the game. Fard over the top. Good cushioned header down from the half-time substitutes. Gladbach dominating possession at the moment. I think it's safe to say. Schalke pegged back in their own half. The last 5, maybe even 10 minutes or so. Have conceded once in that time. And Gufak with the goal of the game so far. Will it count for anything? That is the question. Little dink towards the back post. And I'll tell you what. Chris Beiersdorf getting ever so close. Any sort of a touch on that. You'd have to say Nick Bodon probably beaten. Came out committed to it. Didn't commit fully though. Would have been caught completely off his goal line and unable to recover. Norbert Elgertz recognising the shift in momentum here. Looking to make a double substitution. Looks like Jonas Diekman and Bisara Jabi coming on now. Dardari, one of the players to make way. To apologise, actually looks like it's Niklas Damberg alongside Bisara Jabi. He's come on. Just like Dardari, Jabi a very, very pacey winger. And Schalke have looked most dangerous on the counter. So he certainly fits the bill in that regard. Nice close control from the new man. And a lovely through ball. Schalke in on goal here. Ball across the middle. Big save there to deny Malik Tubic. Plays it straight at Trippel, either side of him, and it might have been 5-2. Schalke really should be doing more with those sort of opportunities. Could have very easily been the goal that kills off the game. Instead, Gladbach can still believe. Bobbles out over the line for a corner. Here's another look at that golden opportunity. Almost had too much time to think about it. Didn't quite get it out from underneath his feet there, Malik Tubic. First touch was just a little soft. Just allows Trippel to get out off his line early, make himself big, come up with an important save for his side. Malik Tubic down with a slight problem. Medical team out there to make sure he's alright, but does seem to be hobbling somewhat. Might well be coming off now as well anyway. Does give both managers a chance to try and get some tactics across to their players. I think Norbert Elgert's a little confused by his team's second half performance. Really strong start, but then just stepping back a bit, a little bit too much, allowing Gladbach to get themselves somewhat back into it. So Malik Tubic will take his place on the bench now. Is that Noel Westenberger coming on to replace him? Now leading the line up front for the Blues. Well, you could hear where Valentovic wanted that ball played, and it wasn't behind him. Good pressure on the goalkeeper there from the substitute, Westenberger. Not too far away from nicking it away. Shielded out over the line for the goal kick. Just under 20 minutes still to go here in Gelsenkirchen. Nice first touch from Walifard. Gladbach can find the back of the net again in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. They could be in for quite the grandstand finish here on match day 1. Oh, lovely play. And the opportunity to wrap things up. And having only just come onto the pitch, Noel Westenberger gets his name on the score sheet as Gladbach get everything, all sorts of wrong at the back. Goalkeeper and 2 defenders all getting things completely mixed up. And Westenberger taking full advantage of the situation. Let's have another look at it here. Danger not dealt with once, twice. Goalkeeper in no man's land. Really should be leaving that to his defenders, especially with 2 there taking care of Westenberger already. And then it's just stroked in over the line. Calm, cool and collected finish from the Schalke number 13, who comes off the bench to do exactly what he was brought on to do. Cause problems up front and get his name on the score sheet. 5-2 now the score. That might just be the goal that puts it out of reach. Never say never, especially between these two. But you would think that has well and truly wrapped up all 3 points now for Schalke. Coming forward again, here's Westenberger again. Well, draws the foul. Yellow card shown. Seems a little harsh. I don't think Westenberger was going anywhere or there was any threat of scoring a goal or creating a goal-scoring opportunity. Didn't have too many options available in and around him. Only really Baje to his right. Dead ball situation for the home team. Might be a little too far out for a direct effort, but you never know. Lining it up, and not a bad effort whatsoever. Forcing the save from Trippel. Had to get a stiff right arm to that. Just help it wide. Not sure it was going to sneak inside that post. Looked like it might have just been going wide. Trippel not taking any chances. Whipped into the near post, headed away from danger. Schalke with the throw on this near side now. Well, and Gufak will make his way to the bench now as well. Cracking goal to score Gladbach's second. Give them some hope again. That now a distant memory at 5-2. Khan Fidat coming on to replace him. Westenberger's been an absolute nuisance since coming on. Exactly what you want from a substitute. He's ticking all the boxes so far. Great to see from a young player who, of course, will be frustrated not to be starting. Not to get quite as many minutes under his belt, but it's all about what you do with the minutes that are handed to you. He is really grasping the opportunity here. Putting his name in his manager's head. Something to think about for match day 2. Chance here to make it 6. That wouldn't have counted. Again, Luka Voza just drifting into areas where no one seems to pick him up. It's almost like he's invisible to the Gladbach defenders at times. Artem Muradian caught late there. Well into it with the sliced clearance. You can see the energy levels from Mönchengladbach have just dropped significantly since conceding that 5th goal. For a moment they looked like they might be able to come up with a strong finish to the game and make it close after all, but that 5th goal really throwing a spanner in the works. Of course, didn't do themselves any favours whatsoever conceding the 4th goal as early into the second half as they did. That will not have been part of the game plan from Oliver Kirch, I can guarantee. And have had decent spells in the second 45, just nothing to show for it really, apart from the sublime strike from Josia, or from Mathieu Ngoufa, excuse me. Looked like it might just be the start of something special, but that door shut very quickly on the counter-attack. And then horrible touch there from Uwakonye, who did everything right initially. Little 1-2, great run through the middle. Found the space, and then just let down by his own touch. Schalke getting ready to make another change. Will be Bacchus coming off. And Noah Kandia, I believe, coming on. Nico Horvat not getting the decision there from the referee. Having gone down, flag goes up. And based on the player's reaction, doesn't look like there was too much in that. Tim Pfeiffer thought he was up and away. And the linesman with other ideas. 8.5 minutes still to go as Nico Horvat sees his game come to an end. Van Liptik, a new man out on the pitch, wearing the number 17 there. Well defended by Amar Ibrahimovic, who's been relatively solid at the back here this morning. Now early afternoon, of course. Kick-off at 11 here in Gelsenkirchen. Javi does well to pick out Valentovic. Another ball across the middle. And then a slight push there from Noel Westenberger. It continues to cause problems. Gives away the free kick. Substitutes in attacking areas for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sulo Ketteler hasn't quite had the same effect as Westenberger in the other direction. Big number 9 has had very little to work with, to be fair to him. Just leaving a foot in on that challenge. Ibrahimovic staying down. Javi. On the ball again here. Nice ball down the touchline. Westenberger helps it forward. Chance here to make it 6. Another good save by Triple. Lovely weight on that ball from Westenberger. It's been really impressive since coming on. And performances like this will be pushing for a starting place on match day 2 himself. It's the kind of problem a manager doesn't mind having. Competition in attacking areas. Always a plus heading into a new season. And less than 5 still to go here in Gelsenkirchen. Struggle to see a way back now for Borussia M'Gladbach. Surely not enough time to score 3 goals. Good block by Kandir. Schalke do eventually get the ball clear. Back over the top by Triple. Lovely touch there to bring the ball down by Ben Weber. Nearly scored himself, was through on goal just moments ago. A little too soft with that ball out wide though. Well, ball played. Pointed out by the referee immediately. Gladbach come away with it anyway though. Looking for damage control here in these final stages. Heavy challenge. From Chris Beiersdorf there on Ibrahimovic. He's been on the receiving end of 1 or 2 feisty challenges in these last 5-10 minutes or so. Clock running down now though as we head towards the end of the 90. There's that chance for Ben Weber not too long ago. Played in by the new man up front, Westenberger, who's had quite the impact off the bench. Probably the standout player out of all the substitutes here. Unable to keep it in play, Schalke will have a throw inside the Gladbach half. Westenberger does well over the top. Jabi! That was almost a very clever finish. Triple expecting the dink over the top. Jabi instead decides to try and play it low. I think Triple unintentionally gets a touch on it with his left leg there. Pfeiffer. Step over, cuts inside, goes down looking for a penalty, won't get it. I'll tell you what, he was in with a shout there. There's another look at that opportunity for Jabi. Disguised it so well. Had everyone thinking he was going to try and chip the keeper there. And Triple simply by making himself as big as possible. Not going to ground too early as well. Able to get something on the ball there. Credit to the goalkeeper. If not for Marcelo Triple in goal, Schalke could have easily had more than just the 5 here today. Has to be said as well. And despite picking the ball out the back of his own net on 5 occasions, he certainly has had plenty of positives as well, the Gladbach keeper. Nice little 1-2. Westenberger just a little slow to start his engine there. And that will wrap things up here. So Schalke get 3 points on the board on match day 1 here in Group I of the preliminary round in the DFB Under-19 Youth League. A very entertaining game from start to finish. 7 goals to enjoy for everyone at home. Schalke simply too strong, especially on the counter, having gone down very early, able to stamp their authority on the league on the opening day of action. Work to do for Oliver Kirch and Borussia M'Gladbach, who had decent spells throughout the game, but defensively looked like there's still some fine-tuning to be done. Final score here in Gelsenkirchen, Schalke 5, Borussia M'Gladbach 2. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you do next time. Until then, and as always, stay safe and take care.
all the boys and learn more food. Come.